Distinguished participants, we are now proceeding to the final session of the formal program today. It is my great honor to invite Ms. Delphine Schantz, UNODC Regional Representative for Southeast Asia and the Pacific, to deliver her remarks. Ms. Schantz, the floor is yours.
Sawadika. Excellencies, distinguished experts, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is really a great privilege for me, and I'd like, first of all, at the outset, to really apologize for having only joined this very important event only now for the closing. I understand from my colleagues who have been present throughout this year and this wonderful presentation that Claudia just made, that it's been very rich discussions, and I'm very looking forward to kind of some of the outcome of the panel sessions. We were launching another very important event with regard to the scam centers, which is also a very dear priority of the Thai government in a parallel session downtown. So hence my late arrival. So please accept my apologies. I'd like, of course, to thank the Thailand Institute of Justice for convening this very important meeting and its tireless leadership in keeping the Bangkok rules at the center of global efforts to promote gender-responsive and human justice systems. Today's forum has been an invaluable platform to celebrate the achievements, to reflect on persisting challenges, and to look together forward at the next phase of action. And the Bangkok Rules Accelerator is actually very much fitting in this perspective and really bringing like some hope and long-term development, so that these are not just a celebration of 15 years, but this is like looking forward and how we can actually leverage all the good work that's actually been done into very concrete action, not only for this region, Southeast Asia, but really globally. 15 years ago, on December 2010, recognizing the unfair and inadequate treatment of women in prison women, attendees inspired by the vision of Her Royal Princess Highness Pajaketi Yaba, and under the leadership and the guidance of Thailand, the international community gathered at the UN General Assembly, joined forces and adopted the Bangkok Rule to provide countries with a compass to navigate the challenges and difficulties of meeting the specific needs of women in contact with the law. That moment marked a real turning point in global justice. It acknowledged for the first time that women in conflict with the law have distinct pathways into offending, often shaped by poverty, trauma, discrimination, and caregiving responsibilities. It's also recognized that transitional justice systems designed largely for men often fail to meet women's specific needs or address the structural inequality they face. Through the leadership of Thailand and Her Royal Highness, this vision was transformed into a concrete framework, a blueprint for humane, equitable, and effective justice. The Bangkok Rules continue to stand as one of Thailand's most enduring contributions to global criminal justice reform and to the promotion of human dignity. And having come back from New York, where I was posted for a number of years, I can assure you that the Bangkok Rules are definitely at the core of many of the discussions and very much recognized at the full credit of Thailand for really pushing this very important agenda. As we have heard throughout this session, the Bangkok Rules have become a significant instrument of change. Despite their soft law, non-binding nature, they have provided informative and practical guidance for shaping national laws and policies, inspired reforms in prison management, securing the rights for children in prisons, guided staff training, and institutional design in many parts of the world throughout the years. Yet, while progress is undeniable, changes and challenges remain, and very much an issue that we really need to be focused on. Since 2000, as was actually mentioned in one of UNODC flagship report, the homicide report, which was issued 2 years ago, the global number of women prisoners have increased nearly 60% compared to the 20% for men. In many countries, women are still detained for non-violent or poverty-related offenses, often linked to survival, coercion, or the absence of social protection. They're more likely to face pre-trial detention, less likely to receive legal aid, and frequently encounter laws and sentencing practices that are blind to their circumstances. Many carry histories of trauma, abuse, and addiction, and face abandoned by families, realities that make social integration particularly challenging. And I really would like to praise all the wonderful work that has been done by some of these civil society that are working close hand in hand with women in debriefing them throughout their prison term, and particularly have really managed to really put all those testimony available to all, because you can change a policy based on experience, on lived experience, and it's so much, as Claudia was mentioning, to really give the voice to some of those women who have actually encountered this traumatic experience, because they're the one that know what needs to be done. So it's not only telling them, but really getting their perspective into some policy development. So cognizant of this urgency, in the past 2 years, UNODC and the Thailand Institute of Justice conducted several regional consultations with practitioners, policymakers, and women with lived experience, including in the Asia-Pacific and Latin America and the Caribbean regions. We hope that the similar consultations could be organized in early 2026 for the Arab States region. And this series of regional consultations have identified priority areas for further actions, such as the need to enhance awareness raising among the public and other sectors to strengthen multi-stakeholders partnerships, as well as listening involving women with lived experience, as was mentioned in the previous session with the presentation of the Bangkok Rural Accelerator. A recognition which was also welcome and endorsed by the Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, the CCPCJ, in May last year, when it adopted a resolution encouraging member states to promote multi-stakeholders partnerships in the field of prison management and the treatment of offenders by fostering interagency cooperation within and beyond the criminal justice systems, including with government authorities and, where applicable, the private sector, non-government organizations, communities, and individuals with lived experience. Mindful of this need, the UNODC and the Thailand Institute of Justice have jointly developed this project, the Bangkok Rural Accelerator, which is really a global collaborative initiative to renew the momentum and accelerate tangible change. This accelerator will provide tailored support to pilot countries to strengthen justice and gender-responsive justice. It will foster peer learning, South-South cooperation, and multi-stakeholder partnerships, so that whatever experience has actually been developed in one country could really benefit another one. Not to replicate the same, because every country is very context-specific, but there are some of the lessons learned, particularly through the real lived experience of former inmates, that really could benefit while a country is adopting a new strategy or finally adopting a policy which translates the Bangkok rules into concrete legal and regulatory framework. The aim of this initiative is clear: to move from vision to action, measurable results, ensuring that the promise of the Bangkok rules becomes a live reality. Today's forum has reaffirmed that implementing the Bangkok rules is not the responsibility to governments alone. It requires multi-sectorial collaboration and whole society cooperation, including women with lived experience, whose voices are too often not really heard. We were reminded today that these women are not only survivors, but also experts whose insights are vital to really designing new policies. We've also seen that the Bangkok rules are more than just a correctional reform instruments. It's really a platform that helps to change mindset. They constitute a broader international agenda on human rights, development, and peace and security, such as the Kyoto Declaration, which was adopted in the context of the last Crime Congress, and the Sustainable Development Goals that was mentioned by my colleague Claudia, particularly Sustainable Development Goals 5 and 16. Investing in women's rehabilitation and integration is both a moral duty and a smart investment in community safety, social cohesion, and sustainable development. As we look toward the future, let us remember that justice systems are not only as strong as their capacity for compassion and fairness. A justice system that meets the need of a woman as victims, witnesses, offenders, and community members is a system that serves us all. We must therefore continue to expand gender-responsive alternatives to imprisonment, strengthen access to legal aid and rehabilitation services, address discriminatory laws and practices, and of course build partnerships that ensure that no woman is left behind, whether in prison or in the community. On behalf of UNODC, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to the government of Thailand, to Her Royal Highness for a visionary leadership, to our steadfast partner, the TIJ, and its unwavering commitment to not only to criminal justice, but also focusing particularly on this very important issue, for being so dedicated to ensuring that it's not only a piece of paper, but it's actually a reality which really helps all the government to move forward and make significant advancement in this very important issue. Let us leave now this forum with renewed determination to work together, to learn from each other, and to translate the Bangkok Rules vision into real progress for women everywhere. Together, we can ensure that the Bangkok Rules continue to guide us towards a more humane and inclusive justice. I thank you very much. Kapunka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Schantz, for your meaningful and inspiring closing remarks. Your reflections have powerfully reinforced the importance of sustained international cooperation and shared responsibility in advancing gender-responsive justice. To formally conclude today's program, I am pleased to invite Dr. Phiset Sa-ardyen, Executive Director of the Thailand Institute of Justice, to deliver the concluding remarks. Dr. Phiset, the floor is yours.
Well, I don't think I can do a better job than what Delphine just did, but just maybe to share with you in this ending of our conference, maybe some reflection of what I have been hearing from the early afternoon. I think today marks a very significant moment in the history of our agency, the TIJ. Earlier this year, we have been working with the ICPA in organizing the very important international conference from the academic side, highlighting the needs for the academic institution to pay attention to the issues surrounding women offenders, and for the first time in the history, and we managed that. And this year, at the end of the year, we managed to work closely with UNODC and several partners in organizing this international conference marking the 15th anniversary of the Bangkok Rules. I think 15 years is quite a significant period of time, and within that period also it encompassed 14 years of the establishment of the TIJs. So in a sense, this organization has been created for the sole purpose of supporting the implementation of this important instrument. But I think what I would like to share with you, my thought is that maybe the time has come for us to also try to step out of the usual thinking. Of course, 15 years, 16 years, 20 years ago, the issues of women offenders have not received enough attention, and we managed to rally and raise the awareness to the extent that we are here today. And I'm very happy that there has been a really significant learning curve, even among us at the TIJ, about what we can do to change the situations that women offenders faces. What we have done, maybe it's a small achievement, but I think there is a significant gap that needs to be filled. But also, once we manage to raise the awareness of society so that they can look at women, women offenders, women in prisons more clearly to the reality that they faces. Now, another significant challenge is that how we can translate that understanding into a common view. Of course, it's easy to highlight the difference and draw attention, but when it comes to really inviting the public to own the issue, to be the co-owner of the issue of pushing forward Bangkok rules, or for instance, the Bangkok Rule Accelerator, it becomes quite important that we come up with a significant way to tell maybe a different kind of story that what happens behind bars, whatever impact that these women offenders faces, at the end, it's also the impact that the whole society is going to be experiencing. Unless we can do that kind of storytelling or narrative, it will be quite challenging. We have heard from our distinguished panels earlier that convincing policymakers is already challenging enough, but convincing the general public that why they need to invest in improving the circumstances faced by women behind bars, women offenders, that's really challenging, because we need to now turn from differences into some commonalities. We have to maybe go deeper into human psychology, human understanding, so that we can build a stronger foundation for a whole society support for them. Because in the end, I think it's all related. We have conducted a small study with OECD earlier about the cost of the impact of crime and the criminal justice. And we know that the whole society are bearing the significant economic and social costs of not doing good enough work when it comes to criminal justice responses. What we may not be able to do in that study is to do the gender disaggregation, to come up with different and maybe more powerful story of how expensive the cost would be for society for our failure to address the issue faced by women offenders, who are not only just women offenders, but maybe much, much more. They are mothers, they are caregivers, they are potential to do this society very productive, good. They are the agent of change. Unless we can do something about it, it will be quite challenging. And I think the conference today reminds us of that kind of importance. Of course, the other issue is the need for financial support. Turning criminal justice system to be the justice system for women requires money. It requires a lot of investment, not only in kind, but in cash. But also we want to, as TIJ, we want to stay a very fine line. On the one hand, we want you to be assured that TIJ is fully committed to supporting the Bangkok rules. And we want to work closely with all of you. But we want to also highlight that we also open for support and financial ones from any member states, any entities that would like to join us in working together going forward. Having strong presence of TIJ maybe is a good thing, but it's not enough. I can assure you that we need much, much more whole society and global support. And we already have a very good start. The UNODC team in Vienna and here in Bangkok, they are a wonderful team that have put a lot of brain, a lot of thought into creating these Bangkok Rules accelerators. It's part of the global program, which means it will be quite cost efficient. We are not thinking about creating another clumsy international global funding that will require a lot of maintaining fee. This is already built in the existing mechanism within the UNODC. So it means once we have financial support from any country, that would meet the requirement for the phase 1 of the program, it can be run immediately. So I think the team at UNODC and the THA, we are ready to do that. And we have been working very hard to dialogue with the government of Thailand in the hope that they would be among the first nations, first member states to do so. And we look forward to continue working closely with them in order to realize that scheme. But that does not mean that we do not need support from any other countries. Entities, NGO, CSO that have been working closely with women offenders, you are wonderful potential partners in this scheme because of your practical experiences and your deep understanding and insight. It will be crucial in enriching this program. And maybe contribution from private sector is something that we need to explore. So among so many important things that we have learned today, I think it may be something along the line that in order to move forward, maybe we need more than one way of looking at the Bangkok rules, more than one way of looking at the issues faced by women. We need multiple perspectives so that we can really put together our brains, learn from people with different experiences and circumstances so that we can really benefit from those kind of understanding and insights so that we can ensure that whatever we move forward, it will be well thought and it will be something that could be something that produce lasting impact. So that is something that I would like to share with you. And of course, I will not be able to end my speech without thanking the UNODC again for your wonderful support. And also all the TIJ team that have been working very hard with many tireless, sleepless nights working for this conference. I would like to acknowledge them and also the staff at the TIJ Resart Academy who have been working very hard to prepare the snacks that will be provided to you during the lunch break. They are part of our social experiment to try to prove to the society that people who have been incarcerated once, when they have been given a chance, they can really turn their lives around and they can become productive member of society again. So thank you very much and hope you can continue the journey with us going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Phiset Sa-ardyen, for your thoughtful reflection and commitment. As we mark these important milestones today, your words remind us that the future of Bangkok Rules lies in our collective collaboration will be to transform commitment into continued actions.
ค่ะขอบพระคุณเป็นอย่างยิ่งนะคะสำหรับถ้อยคำการปิดการประชุมที่ทรงคุณค่าและสร้างแรงบันดาลใจอย่างยิ่งค่ะคำกล่าวของทั้งสองท่านนะคะได้ตอกย้ำความสำคัญของความร่วมมือระหว่างประเทศและความรับผิดชอบร่วมกันในการขับเคลื่อนกระบวนการยุติธรรมที่สนองตอบต่อเพศสภาวะค่ะและในโอกาสที่เราฉลองหมุดหมายสำคัญนี้นะคะทั้งสองท่านค่ะได้สะท้อนอย่างชัดเจนค่ะว่าอนาคตของข้อกำหนดกรุงเทพนั้นขึ้นอยู่กับเจตจำนงของพวกเราทุกคนในการเปลี่ยนความมุ่งมั่นให้เป็นการลงมือปฏิบัติอย่างต่อเนื่องค่ะ
Distinguished participants, this is now concluding the formal program of the International Forum From Vision to Action, 15 years of the Bangkok Rules and the Future of Gender Responsive Justice. I would like to invite all of you to kindly provide us with opinions toward the program today via QR code on the screen that links you to the assessment form. And afterward, we warmly invite you to remain for the informal networking, continuous exchange with fellow participants, speaker, partners. Light snacks along with the refreshment have been prepared for your enjoyment, and we sincerely encourage you to take this opportunity to connect, share perspective, and strengthen professional relationships afterwards.
เรามีแบบสำรวจความพึงพอใจและความเชื่อมั่นนะคะของการประชุมในครั้งนี้นะคะอยากขอความร่วมมือผู้เข้าร่วมประชุมทุกท่านนะคะช่วยกันประเมินค่ะผลของการประเมินในครั้งนี้นะคะจะนำไปให้สถาบันนะคะปรับปรุงและพัฒนาการจัดกิจกรรมให้ดียิ่งขึ้นในครั้งต่อไปค่ะ ท่านแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านคะขณะนี้พิธีการอย่างเป็นทางการของการประชุมนานาชาติในหัวข้อจากวิสัยทัศน์สู่การปฏิบัติ15ปีข้อกำหนดกรุงเทพและอนาคตของกระบวนการยุติธรรมที่สนองตอบต่อเพศสภาวะได้สิ้นสุดลงแล้วค่ะขอเรียนเชิญทุกท่านร่วมพูดคุยแลกเปลี่ยนและสร้างเครือข่ายความร่วมมือกับผู้เข้าร่วมประชุมและภาคีเครือข่ายโดยเรานะคะมีการจัดเตรียมของว่างและเครื่องดื่มไว้บริเวณด้านหน้าห้องประชุมค่ะเพื่อเป็นการต้อนรับทุกท่านอย่างอบอุ่นนะคะและทุกท่านค่ะยังสามารถเยี่ยมชมนิทรรศการ Through a Different Lens นะคะเพื่อรับชมการดำเนินงานของ TIJ และการขับเคลื่อนข้อกำหนดกรุงเทพตลอด15ปีที่ผ่านมาได้ที่บริเวณชั้น1ค่ะในนามของสถาบันเพื่อการยุติธรรมแห่งประเทศไทยและสำนักงานว่าด้วยยาเสพติดและอาชญากรรมแห่งสหประชาชาติขอบพระคุณทุกท่านเป็นอย่างยิ่งค่ะสำหรับการมีส่วนร่วมและความมุ่งมั่นในการร่วมขับเคลื่อนกระบวนการยุติธรรมที่มีมนุษยธรรมเปิดกว้างและตอบสนองต่อเพศสภาวะสำหรับผู้หญิงทั่วโลกค่ะ
On behalf of the TIJ and UNODC, thank you for your presence, your contributions, and your shared commitment to advancing gender-responsive, humane, and inclusive justice for women worldwide. We wish you a pleasant evening and safe journey onward, and thank you very much for today.
ขอให้ทุกท่านมีช่วงเย็นที่รื่นรมย์นะคะเดินทางกลับโดยสวัสดิภาพสำหรับวันนี้ขอบพระคุณและสวัสดีค่ะ